Welcome to my YouTube channel and to my train room. If you watched my last video, you will have seen me get a base ready for some scenery. This week I'm going to take you through the rock casting and rock carving processes. So stay tuned and I'll be right back. Well, this hard shell is all nicely set up. Next step is to get the rock features in. Now, as I said before, there's going to be a low rock cut along here where they cut the road into the landform. Man-made rock cuts I always carve, and then I think I might put a natural rock outcrop up here somewhere against the retaining wall, and that will be made from a rock casting. So I'm going to go away, I'm going to select the mold I want to use, and I will be right back. Okay, next task is to add the rock work to this hill. I've selected a couple of molds that I'm going to use to add some outcrops, and I'm going to put a carved cut at the front. So mixing the plaster exactly the same as I did before. I have the water already in the tub. Now I'm going to add the plaster to it and mix it up. For carving rocks, the plaster needs to be a little bit thicker. But before I thicken this up, I'm going to fill the molds. The molds work best if they're wet, so I'm just going to dump them in a bucket of water quickly. That way the plaster will flow in better. I might have to add to that when it's set up a little bit. I've just added a little bit more dry plaster to this mix. Okay, that's better. Now also, because this has been here for a few days, I'm going to wet this up first. If you try adding rock castings to dry plaster, the existing work will suck the moisture out of your new plaster too quickly and the bond will be weaker than it should be. So now I'm just going to slap this on down here. Add some more of the thicker stuff to the molds. What I've accomplished by filling the mold in two steps is getting runny plaster against the mold where it can flow into all the nooks and crannies and fill the surface detail properly, but also giving it some bulk so that the runny stuff wouldn't. And I've got a little bit left. I'm going to toss that in here to give my castings something to form up against. Now these are still too soft to put in place. I need to wait till they start to set up. Right, I'm going to put this one in here. And this one here. I'm just going to leave those to go off while I carve my rocks. The plaster on the rock face is still too soft to carve, so I'm just going to leave it a minute or two. And while that's setting up, I will introduce you to the tools. They are really complicated. I use a chisel, a flat screwdriver will also work, a knife, or you can just use an old knife blade, and a paintbrush. and that's pretty much all I use. Alright, I think that's now hard enough. Since real rock is full of cracks and fissures, first thing I'm going to do is put some of those in. I'm just going to hit it randomly with the knife. I'm going to make some of the cuts deep and some not so deep. And then what I do is get the corner of the chisel and start breaking away the surface. What I find works for me is to use a gentle stabbing and then twisting motion. And then I just use the paintbrush to get all the chips away so that I can see what I'm doing. And then I keep going until there is none of the original surface left. The goal is to just chip away everything that doesn't look like a rock. I'm going to cut it down a little bit here, give it some more variation on height. And maybe here as well. And that way I now have a high spot so it doesn't look too even. Okay, I'm going to come back to it in a few more minutes, but right now my molds are ready to peel off. I want to do that before the plaster is fully set. And now what I'm going to do is chip away everything that's squeezed out and doesn't look like a rock outcrop. And here, where I've got more squeeze out than I expected, I'm going to carve it the same way as I did my cut, but rather than trying to make it look like a man-made cut, I'm trying to copy what's already on the rock. So I'm going to extend my carving a little way into the casting. Once all the chiseling and cleaning up has been done, then it's time to take a good look and see if we like the shape of it or if there's anywhere that I want to improve. And I need to fill in behind this rock outcrop a little bit, and I need to fill in some of that as well. So I'm going to mix up a really small batch of plaster and just put a couple of dabs in there. Also, what I'm going to do is spread a thin screed on this part of the road here so I don't go and mess up my finished rock carving when I come back to put the road in.
Well, that seems like a pretty good place to leave it this week. Tune in next week and we'll start to get some colour and texture into our landforms. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.